And oh wait, I need to put the I need to put the chat. I need to put the fucking the Discord video up. Everyone got to see another back insight to my fucking emails. Again, how have I done this? How have I done this? 2 streams in a row. I've now leaked my emails.
All the promos.
Fucking hell.
All overview plans exposed.
Yeah, so if, please do not watch the beginning of this video. If you do see the beginning of this video, please just divert your eyes.
Close your eyes real quick.
Oh, dear. Well, we tried. Anyway, I think we're live. We're cross-posting. Then we're all good.
Yeah, we are. I don't even have to do anything. We're just live on our page too. Thank you.
I think that is how it works. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Look, I'm just going to do my little intro, just because anyone that is watching this right now, this wasn't totally. We didn't actually put too much of it. Put a little post. It's a little bit of an impromptu, little bit of a special treat for everyone. But hello to anyone that is watching, and welcome to another edition of Overviewed. Easily the best chat show in drum and bass, in which I interview a member of the D&B family. So far it has been extended members of the Overview family. Joining me this evening, we have 2 wonderful lads, producers from the land of Holland, also known as the Netherlands. They've seen a number of releases on a number of labels, including Flex Out, as well as Overview before, and they're joining me live this evening. We have Ordure.
What?
Big
I
crowd.
don't know what crowd noises are anymore. Like, I don't remember them.
Oh, I remember that. I've been going with the
Like a CO2 cannon. Or something.
It sounds like there's more people cheering than there is. So, but hello to everyone watching. We are live. We are 100% live for Overviewed. Please drop us some questions if you have any questions for my good friends here. But yeah, guys, hello, welcome to Overviewed. I'm sorry I've kind of forced this upon you.
I even said no the first time. There was no consent to begin with.
I said no, and he just doesn't. He's like I'm like a dog with a ball. I just don't give up.
Doesn't take no for an answer.
I don't take no for an answer. I'm like, right, we're doing this. But yeah, obviously I guess it was obviously, you guys have had a bit of a feature on the new release. Gonna plug it right away before we're even in. But yeah, so yeah. First off, how are you both doing at the moment?
Well,
all things considered. All things considered.
All things considered, pretty good actually. Yeah, just keeping busy, but like it's we can't go anywhere after 9, and we're still in lockdown, so it's
yeah, shit. You guys actually have like a full-on curfew, right? You're not actually.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do.
We've had it for like 3 weeks now, and it's just extended it for another 3, I think. So.
Do you know anyone that's actually been like caught out so far?
Not personally.
No. I've been out during the curfew once, because you can, if you're self-employed, write a statement that you, as a self-employed person, have to do your job, and it's kind of stupid. It's like when you go in high school when you were sick and you would write your own sick note from your mom. Kind of like that.
I am self-employed.
Yeah, and I felt really cool having this form, 2 forms even. But no police stopped me, so
perfect.
But it is like fully like, if you are caught by the police out of your house, they're gonna arrest you, or is it?
No, it's like a
€5.
95 euros, yeah.
Wow,
plus,
shit. Okay.
Plus administration cost, I think.
Damn, that's pretty serious.
So that's like £300 right now, I think.
Shit. And what about you, Yella? I've seen it. We've got a nice comment in the chat from Marcus that says, "Yella, why do you have Christmas lights up? It's February."
This is my permanent living situation.
Well, they say I wish it could be Christmas every day, and it obviously is in the
Ella's living dream.
It's the party lights, but I thought this live stream is the most party thing that's happening to me this month. So I turned them on, and I live on the 10th floor of an apartment building with 18 floors. So I have a very recognizable apartment. If you're outside this building, you will immediately.
It's
see
the guy. It's the guy with the Christmas lights up all year round. I can see you've got a bit as well going on with your background as well, Jesse. Did you? I feel a bit left out. I need to get some Christmas lights in here.
Christmas in the
just turn them on, especially for you.
Babe, can you give me some Christmas lights? Because I need to feel like I'm fitting in. Please. Yeah, I just need some Christmas lights. I'm live on the internet. I need some Christmas lights. Right, I think I'm getting some Christmas lights delivered. I hope so. Anyway,
we shipped you some, but I think that's not even allowed now.
Well, no, and like things with things are taking like absolutely ages as well to arrive. I ordered some boxes from Germany, and it took like 2 months to turn up or something. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, look, I tell you what, let's not get too caught up on. Well, look, we can go into Brexit. We could get your opinions on Brexit in a bit, and the coronavirus. We can do a bit of that. But obviously, we are, here to talk a little bit about you guys. This is like your show, so I guess I just wanted to bring you on. Oh, wait, I can hear some Christmas lights. Are they coming?
Are they coming?
Go on, that'll do.
Do it.
No, come here.
I'm not gonna talk to someone who doesn't have Christmas lights.
This is it. I want to feel like. There we go.
Those are fancy ones.
These are not only that. These are lights with letters on.
They're Scrabble lights.
Scrabble lights. What does it read out and say?
Well, I just put tea time.
It says tea time on it.
Of course it does.
I mean, what could be more British than?
It could say tea time with milk in it.
I mean, these kind of.
I think it's kind of implied, right?
Okay.
I can't
You hang those up. Should I? I will tell about how I was doing because I kind of avoided that question by.
Yeah, go on, Lolo. We go. How are you? How are you, Yella?
Well, I'm pretty done with the whole situation, but you know how you kind of get used to it as well. So it feels just like another normal day, but then sometimes you realize, wait, it's been pretty fucked up all the time. Like, I think 3 days ago, yeah. And the last blackout event was here in the Netherlands. And I was kind of confronting, like, holy shit, it's been a year without this.
Yeah.
And I never thought I would miss feeling sweaty buddies in a dark room. Very loud music. So much. But yeah, I do miss that.
It was kind of ironic to get the memory from Facebook like a year ago, and we posted like how much fun it was to play Blackout, and more gigs coming soon. But
little did we know. We shouldn't laugh because it is actually like really fucking sad. Like
yeah. We were really looking forward to come to Brighton to play the Overview Music Squad night.
Absolutely.
Well, we tried to rearrange that twice as well. Like we were really, really persistent with that.
We were so optimistic because we wanted to do it in August.
Yeah, I think it was supposed to be March, and then we're like, yeah, we August, it'll be fine, it'll be gone by August. Like surely, like here we are, like approaching a year later. I mean, I think my last gig was March, like early March last year, and yeah, it is weird. It is a weird state like that we're kind of in at the moment. This kind of like limbo state, and like you're saying, you kind of got used to it, but
yeah, it is
not.
And we can do things, and so it does kind of feel normal because it's like the new normal. But like I can still go places as long as I'm home before 9. But yeah, so just a little bit more like when I was a kid.
yeah, we are being
I think we
like,
do notice it in how productive we've been, because so obviously this remix that we did of Mistress by Nami and Rizzle on Overview out now on the Overview
go
remix.
buy it, go buy it.
It's now out, which
That's
makes
fun.
it, which maybe makes it seem like we're making music a lot, but we made this, I think, in April
Yeah.
or in May, maybe, like first lockdown situation, still with some vivid memories of how parties are and how a sub feels in your body and that kind of stuff.
Mm.
But I think it's the last tune we made together, actually.
Yeah.
So it's been a while.
Do you think that, I mean, obviously has not having the events really affected you then, and your ability to want to write drum and bass music? I mean, that's kind of,
Yeah.
God, we're going off on the deep end already on the for the show. But well, why not? Why not?
I think for me personally, like drum and bass is such a cool style of music, but for me it's something that I really enjoy listening to in a club, like in like a party environment. And I mean, I do enjoy it as well. Like when it's very well done, I do enjoy it, but it's not something that I listen to for, you know, for extended periods of time. So for me, kind of being away from all that for so long, it just kind of takes away the inspiration to make drum and bass. Yeah.
And that's the same for you as well then, Yella? Wait, are you eating a bit of sushi right now? Is that what you're doing?
Why isn't Casper making sushi in the background?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say.
Chocolonely. They have a new raisin and hazelnut chocolate that my girlfriend introduced me to, and it's epic. So
another nice plug.
Get tucking in.
I mean, sponsor it.
Yeah,
I think it's the same for me. Although I think I've always listened to more drum and bass outside of just playing it or in a club than Jesse.
Yeah.
So I do still make some drum and bass, but it's more the drum and bass that I would listen to as well right now. So it's not the dance floor oriented drum and bass. It's more the melodic, vibey stuff. And I wouldn't know how to write a club banger ever, but not, especially not now. No. So
no, it's definitely been interesting seeing the effects that it has had on some producers and the changes in their production habits. I think some people, seemingly some people, I don't know why, but some people maybe are able to kind of like summon up something from somewhere, but then but I would say the majority are affected by it and struggling more than ever to write club music without a club. I mean, that's the kind of the thing.
I mean, it can also be like a positive thing, because I've also seen a lot of people do really interesting stuff that maybe wouldn't necessarily work on a dance floor, but is really interesting. Just because, you know, it's more you don't expect it to release and then to be played out as much. I don't know if that's the thought process, but I've seen like people experimenting, which I think is cool. But yeah, it's definitely I've heard it a lot from other people as well, that they feel the same way about getting a lot of their inspiration for especially the club type drum and bass from being at parties and being in the club and yeah, like Yella says, like feeling that sub and
well, it just makes it makes the whole thing complete as well. It's everything that goes with it. You know, you kind of feed off that motivation that the inspiration for the music, but then also kind of like feeling a part of something. Like it's not quite as tangible when you're at home or you're just communicating on the internet or whatever, but and that's what kind of brings it all together and brings it all like look at like we're saying about some of the things that we were due to have done that were kind of like taken away from us, and and then it's hard to like summon up that that drive and desire with
I think the overview music squad night is something that's like a good example of that, because that's like just like a meeting of, you know, like seeing our friends as well. You know, it's like so many of our friends that live abroad and that we don't get to see right now. And then I remember the last Music Squad night we did, and everyone came to Yella's house, and we just made drum and bass in Yella's bedroom for like with like 8 people or something. It was ridiculous. It was so much fun, and it's like
the fabled track that is never ever going to see the light of day.
Never ever going to see the light of day. So much fun to work on that.
Come on, Squad, sort it out. But yeah, you know, but even that, I mean, that whole experience is a perfect example. I mean, for me, that's been one of my most enjoyable weekends that I've ever had in drum and bass. Like just the whole thing from, you know, Friday night at Yellow's, and then producing in the day, and then just getting together people that you would never really see in any other capacity, really. Again, you had people from all over the world. You had Skylarks from France, and Wings from Austria, and, you know, myself from, you know, England, and, you know, oh god, you know, it is.
Or you needed a visa for that.
I'm gonna need a visa now. Yeah. I need to have a good reason why I'm in the country.
And even things like getting together to eat like a vegan kapsalon in The Hague, like, you know, like we did, is it's just so much. Like, we can't do that now. There's no like restaurants or anything. So
I mean, I guess for me, I've been trying to kind of, I guess, like how you would like frame it, because obviously, like, we have put out a lot of music. Overview has put out a lot of music, and we put out a lot of, you know, club music really into the scene still. Whereas a lot of people have held back or not done it, but I try to kind of remember. I'm trying to sort of like look at the bigger picture, and obviously it will come back around again. Obviously, there's not too certain exactly when. Obviously, it's starting to feel as though it's slowly potentially opening up. There's a few bigger promoters looking at nights, and I guess for me, like, wanting to kind of put ourselves in as best position as possible. For when that happens, so that, you know, we'll be the guys, you know, Overview will be obviously in demand, and I feel like it's a bit of a service as well, like, because I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, you know, there's all these guys that are like holding on to their music and not releasing at the moment and waiting, and I thought, like, if everybody did that, like if every artist was like, right, I'm not releasing music now, how shit would that be? Like, and how like depressing would it be? In an already depressing situation, you would then have the artist not putting anything out, and there needs to be something. Like, and that's what kind of, I guess, what's kind of kept me going a little bit.
The only shift that I've noticed is like there's still a lot of output, especially like maybe you will see Simeon post his weekly updates on the freshest drum and bass playlist. And I have the feeling like it's just growing and growing, actually. Only the music has shifted a bit more towards listening music than straight out tear out dance floor music or something.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Obviously, like, some of the stuff is, maybe even some of the music that is, you know how it works in a lot of drum and bass. Like, some of this music takes a long time to even reach the light of day, you know, in some scenarios. But I think it's obviously that thing with music and being a record label. I mean, as much as we can't do shows, we can still function, we can still put out music, and the business still works.
For sure. You may have actually also profited from being a new label, and now this COVID happening, maybe other labels not releasing that much club music, and now you getting the opportunity to stand out because of that as well.
Yeah, no, I do believe that. I mean, I think not that it's been a good thing, but we have tried to pivot with it, and not sort of hold back and just change our kind of dynamic, and just keep on doing what we were doing in a lot of respects. But then we've also brought in new ways of having, you know, and it's given me the opportunity, even doing this right here, like this evening, like this was an idea that I've had for a while, to start interviewing people and talking to artists and getting, you know, the scene to kind of know us, but I would maybe not have been given the kick to do it if it wasn't for COVID, and this obviously being one of the only ways that anyone can even talk to anyone now. Obviously the Patreon as well, has been go sign up to the Patreon. Has also been it's also been good. So yeah, I think we really have kind of tried to take this as positively as we can, and maybe are in a more fortunate position than some, because we weren't at a stage where we have been so reliant on live shows as such a massive part of our business model it's not like it's not like we've lost a lot because we never really had it. Like, I mean, it was coming. And don't get me wrong, I lost a lot of shows that last year, and a lot of opportunities. But yeah, we weren't. We never had those before, so it is a little bit different. And
it's a good thing that you don't are such a big label yet, in the sense of having hired staff or having people work for you that you have to pay out.
I mean, how has that been with? Because obviously you're the label manager of Blackout Music for you are still the label manager, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, I wasn't going to be like. but from that perspective, would you say you have a different view on it, or how has it been from Blackout's perspective?
It has been tough financially, losing a stable part of the income with the shows, and of course, especially for Black Sun Empire themselves. But yeah, we did host 5 shows a year in Utrecht with between 800 and 2,000 capacity,
right.
Always selling out actually. So that's a big chunk of the income. So yeah, that has affected the company. Yeah. So I can imagine if we were smaller and had less personnel working for us, then might have been easier in a way. Maybe not.
No. I mean, it's interesting. Again, like that kind of the very the other end of the scale. Like talking about something like Blackout, in how the difference in and if that had been myself in a few years time, but I think things are going to have to change. I guess
I think it's even more different for maybe labels like Ram or Shogun. I think they have a lot of people working there. I don't know how it's going there, but it might affect businesses. I don't think we see a lot of results in it. Like when I go out on the streets, I can see restaurants closing and that kind of stuff. Like it becomes very real how this pandemic is affecting businesses. But I haven't really seen any of that in drum and bass because it's also digital and.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously for labels, but also for artists, like. There's so many people who, like in this business, obviously, a lot of people rely on being able to travel, to go to shows, and get a lot of their income from that. And I think that has been hard for a lot of people as well. And I do think that it's really impressive to see, like during the first lockdown, especially, like how quickly a lot of people set up patrons and set up this model of kind of changing the way they work and doing live streams, like production live streams, or just like Q&As and stuff like that, or even like you're saying, like stuff like doing stuff like this as overview. Those are all really cool initiatives that maybe wouldn't have happened otherwise. But I think it's really really cool to see that a lot of people how quickly they took up on rearranging things to be able to still get an income from this and keep doing what they want to do. That's motivation to keep making music as well.
Yeah, I mean we got to try and like keep some positives of it, I guess, because it is a tough situation, and obviously depending on how you do look at it, I suppose there's good points and probably a lot more bad points than there are good points, but we'll try and remember some of the good points anyway.
But I do also feel like if it were to come down to, for example, a label announcing that they would have to stop because financially it's just not doable anymore, that the drum and bass community is a community that would crowdfund something to fix that.
Be interesting to see if that does happen, or casualties. I think the big one is also going to be nightclubs, and loss of venues. And I think when the dust has settled and stuff, you know, when stuff comes back and opens back up, who is actually going to open back up again? And that's going to be an interesting one too.
I have never had red stripes in Volk.
they will never be able to shut the Volks. It will be that's going to be there for another 50, 60 years. That'll become a cultural heritage site, I honestly believe.
I hope so.
Well, look, I tell you what, let's let's try and, like, otherwise we can get a bit wrapped up in, like, the COVID situation. But it's interesting getting your thoughts. I want to know a little bit more about you guys, because look, I do want to sort of, like, you know, this is about you as well. And there's, you know, to be honest, there's a lot that I, you know, necessarily am not sort of too familiar with. So I want to kind of, I'm gonna do the quite standard. Where did it all kind of start for you guys, and how long have you been going? Yeah, I mean, when was it is Ordure. I want to say Ordure, but
Ordure.
I'm sure some people are. But yeah, tell us a little bit. Tell us a bit where did you guys meet? I tell you what, that's the best question. Where did you guys meet?
In high school.
Not too long ago, I found a video of our actual meeting, or the first time we really got together and chilled.
You actually have video evidence of that?
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's a weird situation, but we were in high school together, and yes, Jesse was one class below me. This was all on the Vrije School in Groningen in the Netherlands.
Big up.
A Waldorf school.
Can you just say that one more time for me? Because I really like.
The Vrije School in Groningen.
Oh, just wonderful. Oh, God. Sorry. A high school love story. It started in high school.
And a fun fact is that Jesse was actually also in the same class as Former, who you may know from music on Vision recordings.
Yeah.
So excellent school if you want to get into
the drum and bass. Is that the same school that Noisia went to as well, or no?
It's not.
Oh, damn. They didn't go to school. They didn't need to go to school, did they? They were just like already just.
They were just born as Noisia.
They were just born as Noisia. They were just 1 minute there was Noisia, 1 minute there wasn't. Like,
they were in the same school too, I think. But
yeah, so anyway, okay. So you guys met. You were both into music at the time. Like that was.
Well, it's funny because we didn't really hang out with each other a lot, but then we both went to the same like holiday spot on one of the Wadden Islands in the north of the Netherlands, and we were both there with a friend, and we just ran into each other, and we just hang out during that holiday, and I think like a year after that, there was this party, and I was in a band at the time, and I think there was this kind of like online like something. There was this social media platform. I think it was on there called Hives, which was before Facebook, and people could vote on this on this event, like who they want to see there to play. And actually, the top three was Jelle and my band and Posai.
Wow, damn, that's quite a lineup.
So yeah, that was really funny because
it wasn't back then.
It wasn't back then. No. So
what band? What kind of music was this kind of? What did you do? Were you a drummer, guitar?
A keyboardist actually. So I played the keys in a funk rock band without a guitarist. So that was interesting. But it's
Funky Freedom.
Yeah, oh yes, I was really hoping you wouldn't say that. But
what was this? Sorry, what the name of the band?
No, it was called Funky Freedom.
Backing vocals.
It's called what? Funding Freedom.
Funky Freedom.
Funky Freedom. Okay. So it's pretty. That's cool.
It's a bit like what we have right now.
Funky. This is funky freedom.
I know. Yeah, but yeah, so we were both playing there, and yeah, I remember Jelle actually lived really close to the venue, so I crashed at his place, and then we just started our first song the next morning because I was interested in seeing how that worked with like music production, and yeah, it was a really shitty song. And
yeah, I remember it had a Ukrainian a cappella on top of it.
Yep.
And it was really messy drum and bass, but it was drum and bass, yeah.
It was. So the first tune you actually made was DMB.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because we also did both go to the same in that year that we had met for the first time. We also did both go to Machtig in that same venue where then our band formed, our boy band. So we did get into drum and bass at the same time. Machtig is a noisy house party. So we shared that interest, and that's how.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's the. I mean, again, that's maybe another obvious question, but I guess that's always the thing. I mean, that is how you both got into drum and bass was through this event and seeing it.
Yeah, for me it kind of was. Actually, it's funny that Jelle mentioned Former earlier, because he was one of the people that told me like, hey, these parties are really interesting. You should go there. And also like there was another drum and bass party in Groningen that I also went to. So it's just basically the drum and bass scene in Groningen was really cool. I mean. Right now, it's obviously non-existent.
Still be.
Yeah, you know, but back then we were like super hyped to go to these parties, and yeah. So when we started making music together, we started making drum and bass, and then we found out it was actually really hard to make drum and bass. So we also started doing other stuff. Like, yeah.
And we do have a question here. Do you like jazz? You like?
I do.
Jazz?
Yes.
Is that what you said you were in a band as well, Jelle? Did you play? You a saxophonist?
Oh, sorry, did I? No, no. I was just saying that we formed a boy band together. No, I haven't been in a band. Well, I have been in a youth orchestra playing trumpet when I was 10.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Okay, so so you come from like so you're both like musically trained then.
Yeah, somewhat. Yeah.
Somewhat.
Yeah, I mean, I had piano lessons and stuff like that, and yeah, I mean, I did go to. We both studied something related to music. I did music production in Utrecht, and Jelle, you did sound design.
Yeah.
So what sort of year are we talking here? What year? What year was this fabled first track made?
I think 2010.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So almost 11 years ago already.
Yeah, that's a long time ago.
Scary, isn't it? I mean, to be fair, that's about the same era I got into drum and bass as well. That 2009, 2010 era of DMB. It was really good time, I think, for.
It was,
refreshing MySpace pages to see if someone uploaded new music time.
Exactly.
MySpace, yeah, that's where I went to check my DMB.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, obviously, being from Groningen, Groningen. Go on, teach me. How do I say it? Come on.
Groningen. Yes.
We'll get it. It's a pass. I got a pass for that one. But I mean, obviously, I mean, that's a real kind of hotspot, really, in terms of, I mean, would you say that obviously Noisier, being from the town, had a huge influence on the city, and created a kind of a whole scene out of it? I mean, that's probably a bit obvious, but
I think there was a root scene before them. There's some older guys that were doing parties as well.
Yeah.
But we're not boomer enough for that. Um,
You sure?
almost. Well, I haven't been there. But that, and I think also Frequency had a party called Breakfast.
Yeah.
Still has. That's a big influence, but more on the deeper side, and the Noisia more on the neurofunk side. But yeah, that definitely influenced a lot. Also, well, obviously in Posei, making drum and bass. But I think also the sound of Dope DOD. Do you know Dope DOD?
Although those guys are from Groningen. They are as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, they are as well.
Damn, I mean that's quite an all-star cast, like out of one city, really, and obviously Ordure as well.
For it being such a small city, I think is relatively big, yeah, because it only has like, well, I think under 200K
Right.
citizens.
Something like that. Yeah.
It's a big like student. It's a big student town though, isn't it? From what
Yeah.
because I did go, as you remember. I went on my drum and bass pilgrimage a couple of years ago.
Oh yeah, of course. You've been to the Noisia Studios as well, right?
Yeah. I went and I've been to Noisia Studios.
Have you met my mom?
I went and I did have tea with Yellow's mum as well.
Oh, nice.
Me too.
Me too. That's a usual thing. I haven't been able to do it so much lately, but we're hoping to be able to soon.
As long as you get a visa.
So obviously when you made that first tune together, how was it quite a steady progression from then? I mean, when did you really decide, hey, let's do this, we're gonna do a duo together? Was that quite soon from that point, or did that take a little bit of time?
I think so. We both moved. We both started studying in other parts of the country. So, but we would get together. I think like weekly to make music. And yeah, we just started making other stuff as well because, well, like I said, drum and bass was technically quite difficult to make. So we also made like some other stuff like electro, and then moved on to some dubstep stuff and like the 100 BPM kind of beats thing. Glitch hop, yes.
100 BPM. I remember when everyone was like, "Oh, this new genre, 100 BPM." Like,
yeah. Neuro hop.
Neuro hop, yeah, neuro hop as well.
But we would also always make a lot of halftime as well, halftime drum and bass, because it was easier to make it sound good, too. With the drum and bass, it got so technical that we just, maybe it was too challenging for us sometimes.
I mean, do you think as well, like drum and bass is obviously or at least it was. I mean, it's obviously changed these days. Is a very UK centric kind of genre, and I mean the Netherlands, sorry, is very world renowned for its electronic music, but more so house and techno, really, isn't it? Like we got Van Buren and all the.
I mean,
but I think because of that, we were able to do a study in. Well, especially Jesse, I think, because I think your study was called dance music production, even.
Yeah, it was.
Wow,
like,
you actually really, even back then.
Yeah, so it's like an artist. Like there's this music school where you also have like you could do like guitar or drums or whatever, but you could also do music production, and then there's like you could do either like hip hop or dance. And like dance is basically all the electronic styles. So also drum and bass. And like one of my classmates there, Pythias, also makes drum and bass.
Yeah.
As you probably know.
I know. Well, not personally, but it's interesting. It's interesting you say that. Like, I mean, and that was a good like 10 years ago. Like, it's quite interesting that the country kind of embraced it. And I mean, obviously, the Netherlands has been a big export now of, dance music is, big business, really, isn't it?
Absolutely.
In the Netherlands.
For sure.
And I do think the Netherlands in the last 5 years or so, maybe less even, did get really big in drum and bass, too.
Yeah, you could really see the shift in how big the parties were and the kind of people that will go to the parties. Like it used to be a lot more underground, but it's become a lot more accessible as well, and like just more for everybody, which I think is awesome.
You really think it has really just upped a few gears in the last 5 years then, like just up again.
Yeah, absolutely.
No,
like you know, saying the blackout parties, they used to be in this way smaller venue that was like, what is the Helling? Is it like
400, 500, 600 maybe max?
Yeah, and then doing something like the blackout XL things where it's like 2,000 people and it's selling out. I think that says something about how popular it's gotten.
Well, and you got you got the Korsakov events as well. They're like big big things and
really big events as well.
Yeah, I mean,
I felt like before Corona, maybe that will do some good. I think it's always good to have a lot of competition that keeps your scene healthy or keeps anything healthy. But it did get a bit oversaturated in the Netherlands, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Have you been for a night out in Bristol?
We played New Year's Eve last year.
Yeah.
The last time I was in another country than the Netherlands.
Yeah, I know that at the same time there were 7 other drum and bass events.
That's every weekend in Bristol. But I hear what you're saying, and it's interesting.
But in the Netherlands, it used to be you could go to a party every weekend, but before Corona, it was like 15 parties every weekend across the Netherlands, and that would be a lot for us. Yeah.
Wow, really?
Yeah. People do get a bit spoiled, like, oh, I'm not gonna see this because I've seen them 15 times in the last month. You know,
But I think it goes that way where any sort of scene is obviously successful and more people are getting involved, and I think it's that thing as well. Like clearly, you've got these people inspiring. Noisia probably arguably the biggest for the Netherlands. For you guys, from your city, and it takes someone like that to kind of bring it to the forefront, and then more people get involved, and then now again recently, I think you've had say like John Imanu and Casper, now kind of the next generation coming through of young Dutch producers. I mean that's the thing. I think they're saying like any newcomer that has won the Drum and Bass Arena Award. I think you had it was is it Maddock? I think he won it one year, and then you've had 2 from the Netherlands. So I think that kind of is testament to how it's changing. And from the outside perspective, like looking at, I have quite a reasonable knowledge of worldwide drum and bass, and the Netherlands I think is arguably like up there, at least in number 2 maybe. I think Austria is pretty strong. Obviously New Zealand, I know everyone's going on about New Zealand at the moment, but
well, because they can have parties.
Well, yeah, I mean, but from what I know, I mean, yeah, like, and I think like percentage of their country that is like into D&B and stuff. Maybe they haven't. They're not producing quite as many producers. Maybe. Sorry if anyone from New Zealand that might be watching that. Obviously, they've got.
We don't have to apologize for that.
They've got like the big 5. New Zealand producers, but then I think that's going to change now. Probably. Give it now another sort of couple of years. So, yeah.
There's going to be a lot of chances right now in New Zealand to grow really fast.
Yeah.
Because all eyes of the world are on New Zealand right now.
Well, and you're seeing like, because obviously, they've got the touring guys over there at the moment, but then the locals are all getting opportunities to play like 2,000, 3,000 capacity, events and stuff. And yeah, they're really good. And I'm not going to talk about how good New Zealand is. We all know how good they've got it at the moment, but
we did get a question in the chat about,
we have.
Yeah.
It's from the ethereal La Medusa, and she asked, curious of why the name Ordure.
This is probably because she does speak French.
Oh, it's French. You guys got French roots then?
No.
No, but yeah.
No, I think it was back in the day when we had to pick a name in one of those weekly studio sessions. We went to look for words that could fit. And I think at some point we found the word ordure and how in Old English it would also mean filthy or rejected by society even.
Yeah, I mean it's still like anything from like vulgar to socially unacceptable to like trash to like dirty.
I mean, I do you know what? I've never ever Googled the word ordure. But
Well, if you do, you're gonna find a nice Christmas movie as well.
a Christmas
that's
movie.
The main SEO issue we have. Like, if you're gonna look for us, you're gonna find Le Père Noël est une ordure, which relates to the Santa Claus is a filthy
Dirt. Yeah.
pervert.
Well, actually, saying that, well, for me, I've gone onto videos, and you guys are actually up at the top there.
Okay, so we knocked off
Gatekeeper is actually the.
Wicked.
There we go. But no, it's a ordure noun, excrement, dung, or something regarded as vile or abhorrent. So,
But it will also be on like I've gotten pictures from people on Doer Festival sending me a picture of a trash can which had a sticker on it with ordure because it also means trash can apparently. Or trash.
I always thought to me that, do you know what, that's really kind of blown my mind a little bit, because I always thought it sounded like quite such a ordure, like it just sounds like, it's got that kind of dear, like kind of pleasant sort of sound to it, but it's
expensive.
It's actually completely the opposite.
So maybe it's a very smart thing of us, because if people are gonna call out our music to be trash, then we can say, yeah, what the fuck did you expect?
We knew this already. We laid out our statement of intent. Oh, there's a joke there. I laid out the. Oh no, don't worry. I'm gonna.
I think it's always really funny. Like whenever we played in France, and then Facebook does this thing where it automatically translates comments from languages you don't speak. So people would just be like, "Oh yes, Ordure is coming," and then my Facebook would just say like, "Dirtbags."
We have trash on the lineup.
I can't believe it. I can't believe they put that word like in there. That's kind of edgy. That's kind of controversial.
Right?
Yeah, I think so.
But I always have to laugh about it because it's.
I tell you what, as we're on the subject of ordure, I could play some music if you're up for it.
Sure.
Should we play the new one? Do you think we should? Should we do that? Like,
Would you?
Maybe a nice plug again.
It could be a nice plug.
Do we really want to get to number 1 on Beatport right now?
I want to get to number 1 right now. That's the only reason that I get up in the morning is to check the Beatport charts and see if I'm at number 1. Sorry.
In the meantime, I've been putting out offers on ice skates because it's been like minus 10 degrees out here, and it's really important that I think tomorrow we can finally go onto the canals and skate. That is what us Dutch people do when it gets really cold. Now this morning I finally bought ice skates, but I'm still getting messages back from people that I also approached. So if anyone is looking for one pair of gray ice skates
in the Amsterdam area,
yeah, and you should contact someone called Timmer. 25 euros, it's a good deal.
That is a good deal. That is a good deal. Oh, that must be epic. I think I've seen some pictures of that when your canals freeze over and just.
It's beautiful. They have a great.
Stop plugging your fucking product.
It has 30 letters on it as well.
Oh dear.
You want to see my new ice skates, Peter?
Have you actually got them with you? I tell you what, I want you to put them on.
Well, don't put them on because then they'll get.
Oh
blunt.
yeah. Actually, I'm gonna just Google some pictures of ice. Oh, an ice skate race. You could actually do a race.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh wow, that does look so cool. Oh wow, look at those. How much? How much for those bad boys?
These were 40 euros. These are not cheap, of course. And I have to.
Well, still a good deal because I looked up new ones yesterday, and they were like 200 euros.
Whoa. Okay, so it's a good deal.
Is it actually like safe? Like, or is there like a point of when everyone's like, nah, you can't go on there now? Like, well, obviously,
well, yeah, it has to be thick enough, obviously. Otherwise, you're just gonna go through. But it's like I think every kid in the Netherlands. Well, maybe not now because it never freezes anymore, except for this week. But like when we were growing up, like everyone knew how to ice skate. I actually had lessons when I was a kid.
Ice skating lessons.
Here we go. Yeah. See, this is like an interesting cultural quirk that I had no idea like existed.
Like,
everyone in Holland, everyone in the Netherlands, they ice skate. Like,
Peter, you do know that half of the Netherlands is in constant danger of being flooded by the ocean.
And I pray for that day that the walls do cave in and like just.
Whoa.
No, I'm joking.
There's two things you have to learn. That's how to swim and how to skate on ice in case
In case you need to, in case that. Yes, yeah. No, that's. I did know that. I did hear that. Apparently, you guys have got quite a lot of water. I believe. Like, there's quite a lot.
Yeah, and like most of the land is below sea level, so the dikes ever break.
And that's why we both live on the 9th and 10th floor of our buildings.
You'll be all right. You'll be all right. It's everyone else that you got to worry about. Well, I tell you what, I'm gonna go in and play a tune. Do you want to hear it as well? I could share my screen and you can join my. Is that professional? This whole thing. Do you
as
want
long as you don't show your emails.
Well, I can't make any promises. God, I've just shared a screen. If you join that, we can all listen to this. We can all listen to this together. Oh, that's very bright there, yeah.
Yeah, it's very bright.
Because I've done this before, and everyone's all like, "Oh, Peter, I can't hear anything," or whatever. So at least we can all be able to sit here and listen to this wonderful, wonderful remix. Are you in?
Sure, go ahead.
Are you in, Yellow?
I am.
Okay, all right. So just to plug it one more time, this is the recent Ordure remix of Mistress by Nami and Rizzle, and it is out now on Overview the Remixes. Big up. Oh wait, it's coming out of my
I don't hear you.
Can you hear it now? I totally played the wrong one. Yes! Yes! The absolute chaos that is the Overview podcast. I was like, wait, this isn't right.
It sounds familiar.
It sounds pretty good though. It does. So yeah, absolute numbnuts over here. Definitely just announced the wrong tune. I tell you what, I got confused. I think I clicked on it because it said Ordure, and I was like, yeah, that'll be the right one. So if anyone has seen the remix EP, we actually technically have 2 Ordure tracks. This is The Gatekeeper, remixed by Scantia, of the classic original. I should probably play the Mistress remix now.
I put a little more work in that, yeah.
I mean, you know, yeah, fuck it, yeah. That was maybe the tune that I was supposed to play. I tell you what, look, I'm gonna do it. That is also out on the remix EP. We'll give a double plug there. God, I just love making an absolute tit of myself on the internet. Like it's my new favorite. It's my new favorite hobby. Just coming across like a complete idiot. So that was that. I am actually going to play the Nami Riddle Mistress remix by Ordure right now. Here we go. Look, this is the right one. This is the right one.
I can imagine people think we are French because this has French lyrics too.
This was actually you that actually did it.
Yeah.
This is the real one. This is the real one.
I don't recall making this.
It was so long ago. Hello, Casper.
We have some F in the chat for Casper because he's feeling sick.
Oh, poor Casper.
Anyone ever told you you're a beautiful dancer, Peter?
Everyone loves my dad dancing. I just get hyped. I just get hyped.
I can see your camera was even moving. Almost like a club, right?
Logique en énergie. Claire, logique en énergie. Claire, logique, organisée.
Oh,
Let's not go. Let's not go again.
Oh.
Let's not go again. We're not going again for scan.
no, 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 no.
And I'm gonna stop doing that now. Wow. I have to like that remix is it's just fucking ridiculous. Honestly.
It was so much fun to make, honestly, and the original is so good, and it's just really, really fun to do something different with it. And I love Yella made those vocals with the vocoder thingy, and when I first heard that, I was like, "What?"
What?
Yeah. What is this? No, I mean that is like, I don't know. For me, that is how you do a remix, like justice in a way. Like for us, that's obviously a very like the original was a very important tune to overview in a way, and yeah, I mean, tell us a little bit about that then. Like, was it just like sort of one sort of session it kind of came out in, or?
Well, yeah, it was kind of one of those tunes that will just write itself or something, and like even before getting the stems, I think we already had an idea that we wanted to do a footworky kind of remix of it. So there was already an idea in our heads, and it's really nice when you're at that stage where you can actually produce something that is in your head and translates well and gets to be what you want it to be. So yeah, this was one of those tracks.
Yeah, maybe you can hear that.
That doesn't always happen, but with this one.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's
also be fun to make something that is just fucking straight out weird. I mean, that's how the best things are probably made, by just
yeah. I mean,
weird.
Well, like you're saying, just no kind of like restrictions, and just having you could, like you said, you had some fun making that, and you can kind of hear that in the track. I mean, when I've played it, like I have actually played it live a couple of times because I think we were still able to.
We haven't.
That's how old it is.
I know Nami has as well, and he said that like the reaction to it, people have just gone like absolutely nuts.
Awesome.
You know, I think the original is kind of reasonably iconic. Yeah, iconic is probably pushing it, but
it's such a banger, and it's just like we had to take it in a completely different direction, I think, because it's you can't just do like a
standard
drum.
Just
No,
it's already up there in its own style of drum and bass. I think cannot really make it better than it is in that direction. No,
I mean that's what I'm kind of like the remix EP that we've just sort of put out in general. Like we've got kind of a few more of the kind of straight up, just standard. Most of it that's a bit harsh, but you know what I mean. Like just the. Standard, no, but just more straightforward, overview, techie.
Boring.
But then you guys have come in and done that. Like Scantia's like flip of your track as well is like he's taken that on a completely different direction.
I love it because it's Gatekeeper is one of our more dance floory tracks that we've done, and then I love how it's kind of like reeled in a bit, but it's still like really, really like loud and cool. But it's such a different direction from the original, but I really like it.
Yeah, I didn't expect him to go on that either. But
no,
he smashed that, and like I said, like the actual remix EP, got a few different flavors and a few different styles in there, and tried to showcase a little bit, not just deep techie rolling D&B, like it's. A bit more. I mean, is this the kind of style that you're looking to go down, or have you not like with stuff that you kind of wanted to do?
We've been all over the place. I think that's been our problem with Ordure in a marketing kind of way. You can say so. That we've just made so much different stuff that people will probably have no idea what we're actually making, because some knows from this, someone knows from that, and there's no clear direction. But I think this indeed, like the weirder stuff, the stuff that will not get you on headline spots or a #1 place because it's too weird. But that's the stuff that we love making, and that gets us going. So I think that's also what what brings us together. Like that's the
Yeah.
thing in common that we like.
And I also think that's the thing that it kind of comes together when we play out. So where we're just having so much fun coming up with like the most ridiculous things to play, and we jump from we always say like we think in like you know like in like these little snippets of like doing some four to the floor stuff and then doing like 10 minutes of
I have watched some of your sets, and you're never quite sure what's next, which
just all over the place. But it's so much fun to do, and I think it's the same for when we make music as well. Like it's just so much fun to just do weird stuff.
It would be really nice if the music that we make could bring others the joy when they play out our music that we have playing out other weird music too. If you get what I mean.
I think maybe like it's just it's a difficult thing sometimes. What you're saying, it's weird, it's different, it's kind of challenging, and for some people it's maybe a bit too far out their comfort zone. I think like people are just like, you know, I do this is my thing, and aren't maybe necessarily then willing to want to take a risk. So you know,
I think it's just fun to throw people off and like out of their comfort zone, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But like I still remember like one of my favorite moments when we were playing a show is like when people are just anticipating some kind of huge drop, and then it's like this whatever weird thing, and they're just like, oh, I'm going for smoke.
We've had people in the front row at a gig be like, yeah, hyped for a build up and what's gonna come, and then when we dropped like this very anti-drop tune, something really weird, he was like, oh fuck you, and he walked off and went to get a smoke. And that makes us really happy to have someone that disappointed in it not being another standard banger.
Yeah, but then for that one guy walking off, there's like other people who are like really like
like you're saying, like people really appreciate people that
and we enjoy it.
Yeah,
so.
But then I think that's the most important thing, really, is to do it for yourself, you know, first and foremost in a respect, like, and then hopefully people can kind of, you know, the people that you want will understand it, and then the people that maybe do reject it, you know. I mean, again, you know, you never know, because again, you might change someone's opinion. You know, they might have not realized that they like that, like, and then go, okay, I want, you know,
and
this is
also
cool.
we don't have to be for everybody. You know, it's just like the stuff that we like doing. Like Jelle saying, like maybe it won't land us like a headline spot on like a big festival or anything. If we enjoy doing it and people enjoy watching it and listening to it, then you know that's what I would like, you know.
I think our worst experience in DJing were the sets where we were trying to adapt to maybe the lineup or when we filled in like, okay, maybe our set should be like this because we were playing in between this and this is what the crowd is expecting, and then it would never feel complete or like we were connecting with the crowd. And then when we start not giving a fuck, that's when we have the most fun. And
let's just play this R&B song.
I've just seen Marcus has just said, I feel attacked in the chat. Sorry, Marcus.
Sorry, Marcus.
No, if Marcus does what he loves doing, then I think that will also come across to his audience who's coming for that. So no, definitely don't feel attacked, please.
But I think it's that difficult. It's that difficult thing as an artist or anyone within a creative profession of striking that balance between stuff that is for yourself, that is kind of out there or testing, or doing stuff that you know is kind of doing it more so because you know that it's gonna work, or something that you've already done before that is successful. And you know, I find myself in that position with a record label and trying to source releases, and it kind of becomes even more of a pressure the kind of higher up you kind of raise sometimes. I think
people will get more expectations in, you know, when you get like as a label, especially when you get bigger, people have certain expectations.
This doesn't sound like what I would it.
Yeah, exactly. But I think especially when we're doing a set, and I think if people see that we really enjoy it, and then it's also something that works. Of course. I'm not sure because I've never been in the never been in the audience.
I also can't remember my last gig, so
it's also true. But I personally, I really like seeing DJs playing out and really enjoying themselves, and really like it sounds really cheesy, but like believing in what they're playing, and I think that kind of works.
No, I think again, like you're saying, it goes for yourself, like from experience. The ones that the sets that you really remember are definitely the ones when you're like really feeling it and really just in the moment and going for it, and And
those are also the sets where people afterwards will come up to us and say, "Well, I really enjoyed that," and so I don't know, maybe like we felt in the past where we had to kind of, like Jelle said, kind of adapt to. Kind of adapt to the audience or adapt to DJs in the time slots around us, and to a certain extent you can, and you do, but you also have to just play what you like. You like, obviously don't play Dead Limit 5 times at 1 a.m. But
I did. I mean, we've probably all seen it. I have seen a DJ play Dead Limit as a warm up set, like the first set of the night.
You don't, you have to kind of know where you are in the night and everything. But it's if you just play fun stuff, I think that works. It works for us.
What sort of like next then? Like I know you guys have sort of said you haven't been writing a lot of drum and bass, but are you, have you got sort of plans at the moment, or what are you sort of thinking both for yourself? I mean, what is the kind of...
Well, we've actually recently looked through some older projects that we had and that we were feeling in more this other direction to release. Also because we were approached by Unchained.
Oh, cool.
And that was actually kind of a... Sometimes when a label approaches you, can kind of, and you think of what that label releases or what you like from that label, it can also inspire you to think of a new EP on that label and be like, oh yeah, I would really love to make this and this that would really fit. And we have some weird stuff also with our friend Tide Warp and some other older tracks that are definitely not really drum and bass or standard, but just weird, but that we enjoy making also in these times, because right now I think we both wouldn't really enjoy making banger drum and bass. It's just nice to experiment and have fun again.
I mean, we also have some drum and bass stuff that we've been like, even like some anything from like a couple of like almost foghorn kind of things to like more liquidy stuff. No, like not really foghorn kind of stuff, but like more like it's very, very broad and like more melodic stuff. And I think definitely with drum and bass, I think melodic is more the direction that we are going. We both love vocals and just
I always find I think I always find your music just very, like saying, there's a lot of emphasis on the melody, and it's kind of very epic sort of sounding, and it is unique. It is a really unique kind of sound that, or what you want to do, like you're saying, a bit out of the norm. And I really respect it. I really do respect it. I'm not sitting there just trying to blow smoke up your bum, but it is. It's really
I think most of the music that we still like from ourselves is that kind of music, and not when we maybe try to conform to drum and bass rules or kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, but obviously comes with its own challenges, doesn't it? And because like you're saying, there's a lot of people and a lot of labels out there that aren't necessarily gonna like maybe sometimes people taking that risk with stuff that isn't necessarily gonna isn't necessarily going to sell as well, should we say? Or people look at it, people can look at it from that very much like perspective, rather than like trying to put out something like an interesting piece of art, shall we say? And that kind of balance.
Even saying taking that risk. I mean, where does that come from? Taking the risk would be not getting famous with it, or the music not getting big or mainstream, or I mean, that's already a wrong entry point for making the music, I think. So I don't think we're about taking risks or whatever. I think we just need to get back to having fun in making music.
No, I meant it from like a label's perspective, how like a lot of, some labels, work that, again, and that kind of difficulty between business and art, and the kind of, like, and, some labels, maybe like not wanting to take that kind of, they'll be like, is this going to get me, X amount of streams on Spotify, or is this going to, or is this going to, sell, like, or whatever. Rather than going, is this a really, really cool, interesting piece that I really believe in,
So yeah, for regular drum and bass labels, it would be a risk to release our new music, I think. So that's why I think we need to find other places that will fit
a risk. I mean, maybe. I mean, I think you mentioned Unchained. I think that those guys, I think those guys would be, really good to work with. Like, they're definitely a label that aren't sort of afraid to they putting out a lot of different sort of stuff, and not necessarily conforming to a lot of the rules, the formula or whatever.
Yeah, I think so. At least I have the feeling when I get Unchained promos that there will be something in there that we like to play, because it's different, because it's weird, and maybe the mixdown isn't as tight as something else, or maybe something else is a little different, but yeah, we do play a lot of stuff from labels like that. And those are usually the jams that people will be asking for later. Like, yo, what was that weird tune where it went boom, dock, 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 dock? I don't know.
I didn't know what to think.
Yeah.
I think it definitely is that problem. And, and I think I even had this discussion with someone else, like, and that kind of problem with where drum and bass kind of is at. And and I can't, I'm kind of self-aware in terms of a lot of the stuff that we have done. I mean, we have, I'm not to say that we're completely, against it. We have put out some releases, and we just released some Ordure for instance, and willing to kind of, put out some stuff.
Risk.
It was a big risk. It was a big risk. I know, but that thing of like, like
cancel.
Yeah, that's it. Cancel. But that thing of like, there is that like that formula that you're kind of you're supposed to kind of follow, and drum and bass has got a little bit. Some of it can get a bit stale, and yeah.
I think this is one of the things that I originally liked about drum and bass, and still do. Where if you're in it for like getting the most plays, or the money or anything, then drum and bass isn't necessarily the best starting point anyway. So I just like that it's like just go for the spinning records kind of type stuff. And but like I like that shots fired.
Oh.
Someone in the room.
Fuck drum and bass. I just want to get on those big Spotify playlists now and make bank. I want to retire.
Well, I mean, you can do both, but it's I think.
But I think that's what it's about. I think that arguably that is kind of. I think that's what being an artist is about. Is being able to do both. Like.
Yeah, but it's also like just the creative thing about it being a bit out there, and I think that. You can take that as extreme as you want, but like even within drum and bass, you can find that weirdness as long as you have fun doing it.
But but I think it's just that problem, isn't it? Like where you do something that is so out there and is so challenging that then obviously when that then doesn't get received, because it can go one or two ways, I guess. When it doesn't then get received, or it doesn't seem as though and then you start comparing yourself and looking at other
Yep.
other releases or other people or whatever, and then you can get caught in that kind of trap and then feel really insecure about it, because you're like, oh fuck, I tried to do this thing and no one cares, no one cares, I guess. Do you know what I mean? But then I guess it's about not how many people care, it's about who does, or again how you frame it in your mind, and try not to be too, because you can end up getting too caught up in that kind of thing and caring too much about
I've seen it happening a lot on my Facebook and in my network, where producers are expressing how they're not feeling the need to make any music anymore because it's not being received well, or because it's not doing well, and they've put in all this work, and why am I not seeing any results from that? And I recognize this thought process, but it's so important to realize what you want to get out of it. Is that really the recognition from a lot of streams or a lot of plays or money or big shows, or do you just want to be happy making music? And a lot of people seem to get lost in that, which.
And I think with social media and with the world that we kind of inhabit now, it becomes even harder in a way.
Entire system, yeah, of course, and charts and everything. It all stimulates this
competition between peers. I could label some people that and I think some people, I'm not going to sort of name any names, but people that you wouldn't think would have even those kind of fears, and people that you would objectively go, wow, they're doing really well, and even they are like still having those same fears or whatever, and it there's no you can't almost get away from it no matter what you're doing in some respects.
It's like we were talking about earlier with the Facebook analytics,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Bright red, you're not
red. You're in the red. You're failing. Your business is failing. Like, you're a failure. It's right there. Like,
yeah.
But I mean, it's that thing, and I think maybe it's something that our generation, I think, we are having to we have to come to terms with it more, I think, and because of the world that we've grown up in, it's something that maybe we're not as good at kind of handling sometimes, that kind of feeling of, I'm not getting that, I'm not getting enough, my work isn't being received the way that I feel as though I want it to, that expectation.
Everything you see around you is always better, and I need this too, and
yeah, that's it.
That's how all the algorithms around us work, right? Even in drum and bass music, which is such an underground niche.
yeah. Even within drum and bass. God, wow, we are having a really, really deep philosophical musings today. I'm enjoying
I feel like if we can go like half an hour more, then maybe we can destroy drum and bass by just talking about it.
Maybe we'll trick the algorithm. I don't know what the magic number is that how many minutes do you need to stream for the algorithm to think like this is a good video.
I think the answer is always 42.
It's always 42. All the answers. But no, I think it's important to have these discussions, and I think and again, not going back to this is why I did this, or I'm so great, or whatever, but like to talk about this kind of stuff and people to kind of like relate to it, and I think it's very interesting conversations that maybe are not necessarily always, maybe this is stuff that we would discuss at backstage at a gig or whatever.
Maybe it would be good for a lot of aspiring producers, DJs, to hear from the people who've made it in drum and bass.
Made it.
Yeah, because still, what's that? To hear what it's like if they're so happy with what they're doing, having spent 15 years, still not being able to live in a very big house, or is that what you want? Or maybe also having started at the age of 18 with making drum and bass, then being 35 and thinking, holy shit, maybe I should have done an education because now this is not what I want anymore. Or
there's a lot more to meet the eye of it. Like like you're saying, like even from my own perspective of where overview has kind of got to, and it's kind of its level and success, and even that stuff is kind of hard to quantify when you're actually there in the middle of it, and it doesn't quite feel sort of real. Or and again, you're always looking for the next thing or whatever. Like you're saying, like if you'd have spoken to me 10 years ago when I was first starting D&B and had said where I was now, I would have probably gone, oh, you've made it, but I don't feel I fucking have.
Now you don't feel like that.
Not at all.
That's a bizarre thing.
It is.
And will you be happy if you play 4 shows a weekend and then be tired all the time?
Never get to see your kids. Never get to see anyone.
To your kids and girlfriend or boyfriend, and
a lot of lonely nights in hotel rooms and
yeah.
Deep. We are getting really deep. I mean, look, I suppose that's it, isn't it? You with anything, you kind of, there can be a very glamorous sort of view of it, or an idealistic view of it, but then the reality of when you're actually in it and living it is, don't be wrong, there are those moments that are very much like, and you are very, very lucky. I mean, very, very lucky to get flown around the world and get to do what you love, but it definitely does come with its own sort of different set of challenges that a lot of people wouldn't, it's again just it's not as easy as, I mean, look, perfect example is Avicii. Really, I mean,
I was gonna say, that documentary, seeing how how that affects him, and like him being one of the biggest DJs in the world, and then how
had everything, you'd the absolute peak of peaks, but then what that then, the relentless schedule, and then the alcohol, and the just the life that he had to live, and like the other side of it, and tragically, R.I.P. Avicii. Do you know what? I think I actually went to Sweden the week he passed away. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I think if I remember that correctly, we I don't know why I'm bringing that up, but there we go. Pilgrimage, another one of my pilgrimages. We actually have a question here that is another kind of deeper or interesting question. It says, after the pandemic, do you guys think there will be a significant difference in the music industry scene? Who wants to answer that one?
That's a good one. I think a lot of people that have really stepped up, like we were talking about earlier, the Patreon thing, like keeping in touch with everybody, and like I think those will be the people that will be, emerge as like people who get a lot of bookings, I think, and I think it's gonna be different, definitely a lot of different lineups from what we were seeing before the pandemic. And also, I think it's just so weird to think about how parties are gonna be now. Like, is it gonna be? Because it's literally been a year since I've been to one, so it's like, for me, like I've gotten so used to this whole social distancing thing that it's kind of weird to me that there's so many people so close together in like this big, like, is it gonna be? How different is it going to be? I don't really know, but I think once people get used to it, and maybe especially with people experimenting a bit more with music now that they can play it out in clubs, I think maybe there's an opportunity for that as well, to just bring something different to people, that it's not just about smashing like like those bangers, and
I honestly don't think there will be a lot of change.
Yeah. Nah, it's gonna be the same. No, don't shut. No, of course there will be. Don't.
Of course, some
Mate.
people will come out of this pandemic and have profited from it, getting a lot of bookings, getting a lot of getting signed and everything. And there will be people who have maybe stopped making music or who realize this isn't for me or whatever. That will change during the pandemic. That will be a result of it. But I think that as soon as parties can go again, we'll get used to it like this again. It will be strange for the first 15 minutes, but after that, it's just...
I know what you mean. We are a terrible race of like humanity doing that kind of thing. It's like, oh yeah.
And I've kind of already experienced it a bit because when I was in Groningen in June or July, there was this brief moment in between lockdowns where pubs could open again, and I was just going out for a drink, a social distance drink, and ended up in this nightclub where there were just 100 people on the dance floor, and it was as if COVID wasn't there anymore. And I was shocked by how easily that had happened. How it was even a bit euphoric, like being able to dance again and hearing loud music again, but it wasn't awkward. Not really, not for long. I don't think it will change much in.
I mean, I think that the maybe the live side of it. I think that I think there will be obviously like changes for a bit anyway in terms of obviously what will be the rules and regulations to be able to even to attend parties. I know that they're talking in the UK about bringing in like health passports, and you're going to need to be able to prove that you're COVID-free or whatever to be able to attend events. So I think on a short-term scale, that is a big impact. I mean, for me, I think the longest lasting change for this will be something, and I've been banging on about it the whole time, is something like Patreon, and that has now opened a whole new door, and I don't think that door's not going to shut now after COVID, and I think that will probably be one of the longest significant impacts on the industry. The interesting thing will be potentially what happens to booking fees and that for DJs, as I felt that there was like there was a massive like reliance on that pre-COVID, and if that will be such a reliance going forward, because
I was actually hoping that the streaming revenue would have gotten more fair by now. It's a shame that this pandemic hasn't caused a shift in that, because right now the amount you get paid for streams, let me start with the cause, the amount that we want to pay for having all the music in the world available to us at any time, or just like 10-15 euros a month. That's just ridiculous, because
it's actually quite mad. It's quite mad when you put it like that, isn't it? Really.
Yes.
Why is that not like a fucking £300 or £400 like pound like or euro fee that you'd have to pay? Considering how many albums you could. I mean, someone should actually do that. Like, if you were to listen for 24 hours a day for all year, like how much music could you actually consume, like for paying 10, 20 euros a month? Do you know what I mean?
It's crazy. I think if we were to stream our own tunes on our Spotify license 24/7, we might even be. No, wait. Would we be paid more than we pay in the subscription?
I don't think so. Probably not.
I wonder if anyone has actually done that. It's actually set up a bot to just sit there and play music on repeat.
They have.
Really,
yes.
really.
Yeah, people have done that.
Don't get any ideas, anyone watching this. This isn't.
There's even this one band or artist. I don't really know who they are, but they released just like a silent album, which is like just silence, and you can just play it at night, and you can just get streaming.
I'm getting that sweet streaming revenue,
right? And but yeah,
I know I know what you mean on that one, and and it is a big. I think it's going to be interesting to see if and when that does change, and I think it is going to require probably a collective effort from everyone. But then it is hard, like you're saying, like people have got such a good deal right now. Why would they want to change it? And what is going to convince people that they should really be paying more into the streaming than they are, or that Spotify or any other streaming service out there should be giving more money than they are? I mean, there's
but they're not going to.
That's another story. Spotify ripping off artists by creating fake plays for their own music as well, and that kind of stuff. You can dive into that. I can post a link in the comments about some.
We're gonna Spotify cancelled.
Yeah, no, they have all these fake artists with fake plays that will.
I'm actually reading. I don't know. I'm not sure if I've actually got it in here. I'm reading a book actually at the moment, which is about the black box of Spotify, and these guys who really went into the company and how it started and how it works, and found out all this kind of really quite murky side of how it kind of works, and it's a big fear. It's a big fear for us, as a label, or obviously artists, and this kind of reliance on a platform that is quite challenging and doesn't seem to be so kind of embracing of labels, and like them kind of eventually there will be no record labels. There will just be Spotify, like releasing all the music. And
oh my god, all the power.
But
in the end, it has to come from the consumer being able or being willing to pay what music is actually worth. That has narrowed down a lot since, well, of course, LimeWire, Kazaa, Napster, that kind of stuff. And when it all became so like, why would you have to pay to own music if you can?
And people will pay money for the convenience of not having to go through the effort to download everything and just like not being.
I'll tell you what, the next one that is going to fucking kill us is when. I mean, I know that they already are rolling out, and they do have functions on it where you will just DJs will just be able to DJ off of Spotify, into a set of decks. You can create your own Spotify playlists. It's all in the cloud or whatever. That probably is going to be the future, to be honest with you. And how, at that point, how does that look? Because again, like as even my business model really is still so built around people still buying music, and predominantly DJs buying our music to be able to DJ with. And when they have the option that they don't even need to do that anymore, how does that look like?
And should we all shift into finding new ways to make money, or should there?
Well, I mean, going back to it. I mean, I suppose that is it. I mean, that is kind of. I think that is the change that probably is approaching, and it or is already kind of here, and how far that sort of goes, where an artist, their first port of call is going to be Patreon. It is going to be this self-subscription model, which is a very, very fair way to do it. Like it is in terms of what I've seen.
Again, I think that's gonna outcompete itself too. There's going to be more of that, and people are going to be like, oh yeah, I can go to this artist for €5 a month, but then I can also go to this artist for €3 a month. It won't take long before everyone's just putting all this value out there that's worth so much more than they're going to get paid for.
I can see that happening.
In the end, it still has to come from the consumer being like, yo, I really appreciate this, and what is it worth for me? Like if I couldn't get this, then what? What would I be willing to pay for it?
God, we really have gone off on the deep end this evening. We're having industry label like discussions about.
I'm surprised there's still people watching.
But look, maybe necessarily, there's not so many platforms where so many people, at least within drum and bass, where we do sort of discuss these these kind of ideas, and maybe some people can obviously get a bit of an insight to our own sort of fears and where we kind of are seeing seeing it sort of going.
Yeah. I think personally, like going back to the thing we were talking about, about the effect, that the long-term effect of like these lockdowns on parties and everything. We've already mentioned it briefly, but like, which clubs are still going to be able to open? I think that is one of the biggest changes that we will probably see. Is like, you see it with restaurants, you see it with shops, and I don't know how it is in the UK or in other countries, but especially here in the Netherlands, they've released this roadmap of how we're going to ease restrictions when things improve. And the last thing on the list, it is like only when the pandemic is officially over are nightclubs going to be able to reopen again. So, like,
it's a great time to be involved in the
yeah, even restaurants and stuff will be able to open at some point when the numbers are low enough, but nightclubs are not on the list. So, I mean, obviously they do get some financial compensation. I'm not really in the know about how much that is. I imagine it's probably not sufficient for a lot of people to stay open, and to ride this out. And I think that's going to be a big change, like smaller clubs that we all really love, like just being able to go to like a party with like 200 or 500 people, which can be super cool and intimate and underground, and a big step up for
and that's like the breeding ground as well, like where we all learn the trade and can play tonight. I mean, the UK has there's been taking a hit for a number of years already, pre-COVID times, in terms of these smaller venues shutting compared to where it was a number of years ago. I think there's a number of factors as to why, and then now it's just either 2,000 capacity shows, or it's there's not much like in between, and it's getting squeezed. And especially for even for people for people on our sort of scale or level, those kind of size venues are so important. So that will be the interesting thing to see, like I said, when the dust has settled, how it is going to look. And I don't know for sure. I'm not too sure on what venues if any have totally gone under at the moment, or what that sort of looks like. But yeah, could be a bit worrying.
Yep.
God damn it, we got it. We're doing it again.
Yeah, we're doing it again. Yeah.
I tell you what,
we managed for like an hour not to talk about COVID. Now we're back.
No. Brexit? Do you want to go to Brexit? No, let's not.
Yeah, we should.
Fucking Brits. I tell you what, let's. I reckon we can probably we're approaching the 2 hour. We're approaching the 2 hour mark, which has been good. But it's been it's been a really, really enlightening chat, and I'm pleased. Can we try and end it on a good note? What sort of positive?
Maybe I can. This could either go really wrong or really well, Peter. But what if? Imagine if you were this innovative label that put all of its royalty money and everything into bitcoins, and maybe in 2 years you could pay out 2.5 times as much as other labels because you were smart enough.
Do you really think that? Do you really think that that's a good idea, or are you just winding me up right now? I mean, I thought Bitcoin was a thing like a few years ago. Like,
no, it's definitely going to 100K at some point. But I hear Casper laughing.
Should I be investing in blockchain? Is that what you're trying to say? Should I be putting all my money in there?
Put the whole label up there.
To be fair,
I don't really care because I think we're on like 25 euros royalty, which might end up being 75 at some point. But for you, it's a bit riskier. But hell, you could be looking at a yacht a Rolls Royce.
I could actually be looking at the fabled overview yacht that I've been banging on about.
Might be able to buy the Volks nightclub.
And then it will never ever shut. I will turn it into just a living museum. Do you think it's? I really have like put my head in the sand, or I really have got no real concept of the whole cryptocurrency thing. So I'm not going to take your advice on this one. I don't know whether you're winding me up or whether I actually should. I think that's always the.
Oh no! I just wanna, when we're doing an interview again in like 3 years, then I wanna cut this bit out of this interview and cue it and be like, "So Peter, how's life now? And how would it have been?"
And where's your yacht?
Where's my yacht? I didn't manage
Put
to. I
everything
didn't do
in
it.
game.
Oh no! I'll be like, I followed Yellow's advice. I put all my money into Dogecoin and Dogecoin, and I'm bankrupt now. Like I've got nothing.
I listen to you because I can't find my old phone, which has my Google Authenticator, and I still have some Dogecoin and some other coins as well.
You're joking?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, but I don't have the Google Authenticator now, so I can't.
Oh, so you've actually got like some serious wedge sitting there somehow.
It's nothing serious. It was leftovers. I
Right,
pulled
okay.
out my money when it was enough. Yeah.
Right. Marcus has said you could adopt him. Would anyone want to adopt Marcus? Maybe.
I want to adopt Marcus.
I mean, who wouldn't want to adopt Marcus? You got to come to live in Brighton though, or Holland. Go to the Netherlands.
I think me and Casper will be good dads for Marcus.
Oh, that would be such a cute dynamic.
Such a good brother to Kupu.
To be fair, I really can't wait. I've been talking about it. I really can't wait to when the travel ban is lifted and I've got my visa and I will be able to come and visit you guys again over in the Netherlands. I really look forward to that day. That is like
I'm looking forward to the mess my place is gonna be the next day. I'm looking forward to that.
All the Christmas lights are going to be broken.
The table is probably gonna be in 1,000 pieces and everything is gonna be teared apart. But I can't wait for it.
I hope
Oh,
so.
yeah.
I hope so.
Absolutely.
No, I can't wait for that. I can't wait for that day. Well, look, I think
Finally put on that overview of Music Squad night.
yes. Well, I tell you what. At some because you well, I think I've both got plane tickets for you both sitting somewhere to be used
True. We do.
to at some point. So I probably should really use them, but I mean that's the $1 million question at the moment. I'm not even gonna sure. I mean, I'm gonna. Well, wait. Are you guys? This is what I mean. Like, this is what I mean about the Netherlands. Like, you guys have already. Your government have already been like, right. We're gonna look at because you guys are like been like, right. We're gonna look at July, and if it doesn't work out, we're gonna refund you the money back. Isn't it? That's the case.
Yeah,
with festivals
that's
or
a
whatever.
thing from like last week. So
And that's a lot of people who are actually giving a lot of false hope to visitors as well, because there has been talks about if you are actually it's a savings plan for the festivals and that kind of stuff. There's a lot of big festivals that we all rely on because we have a sentiment for them and such nostalgia, everything. We don't want them to collapse. This plan is for them to be able to schedule their festivals to plan it, and if it ends up not being able to work out, then the government will have money for them. But now there's all these small parties which will have like 500 people capacity who think if I organize an event now and it will most likely get cancelled in August, then the government is gonna refund my tickets. Well, fuck them. It's not gonna happen because this is just for the big events.
Is it only for the big events? It's not for, or is there is a
I kind of
rule?
hope their selfish asses are gonna.
No, the government should bail them out. The government bloody bailed out the banks for the financial crisis. They paid billions and billions of pounds to all those bankers that fucked us up, and now we
but
just
not
want to
like
put on a party. I think it's fair. Even if you're doing a fiver, I wish the government over here they would never do something like that. I mean that's what I mean about like the difference between I think how the government in the Netherlands, are prioritizing something like the festivals, whereas over here it doesn't seem to be even on the agenda. Like there's no.
honestly, this is the first thing in well, the literal year that this has been going on. Where
it's a positive step, though. It's a positive step.
Yeah, it is, but
don't poo-poo it, Yella. Don't poo-poo it, Yella. Come on, you're very. You don't know how lucky you are to have that kind of hope
for people. I want to save them from that.
I've been very close to looking at Liquidity Festival because I know that they've got their show.
They do, yeah.
And I was like, oh, I have been like looking at it, going, oh, should we book tickets? Like, could that be good? But
well, at least you can book tickets because the government did save KLM, so that's nice.
Oh my god!
This really has been quite an episode today. I should have known what would happen.
Boycott for KLM.
Boycott KLM and Shell.
Yeah.
I do want to make dinner for myself.
Look. I tell you what, I think we'll wrap it up. I'll end it on. Have you guys got any shout outs? Anybody you'd like to big up? Anybody you'd like to thank? Now's your chance.
I want to big up Wings for being in the chat all the time and for having an amazing mustache and for always showing love for Krupuk.
Always love for the Krupuk.
Absolutely. And also to you, Peter, for just like keeping it going, like putting out new
taking
stuff.
the risk of releasing
Taking the risk, yes. All the weird stuff.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. You don't have to big me up. You can big up Yellow's mum for making fantastic tea as well.
Fair enough.
All right, look, I think we'll end it, on that note. Probably to plug it one more time because we might as well. Definitely do go pick up a copy of the Ordure remix of Mistress. It's a really, really fantastic track. It's also on a fantastic EP, which is the Overview Remix EP. Definitely go pick up a copy of that if you can. Definitely go and like the Ordure pages. Go hit them up on Instagram. What you got? What can we get you on? Facebook.com/Ordure or Ordure Music, and the same as well on Instagram as well.
Yeah.
See, you guys.
All the names were taken because it's just a regular French word.
Yeah.
All the links are a mess, but just look for Ordure or Ordure Music, you'll find it.
Yeah, definitely go and check them out. Guys, thank you so much for coming on today. This has been a really, really good chat, and I look forward to looking back in this in 3 years' time and being gutted about my blockchain miss. All right, guys. Peace out.
Man.
Lots of love.
Peace out.
Right.